Hey, I'm Robert Pearson, and this is Follow the Leader, where I sit down on my lunch break and we talk a Bible verse thing. And jumping right into it, we're on the next man card in the deck of man cards. This is Psalm 15. This is probably my favorite passage. O Lord, who may abide in your tent, who may dwell on your holy hill, he who walks with integrity and works righteousness and speaks truth in his heart. He who does not slander with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor takes up a reproach against his friend, in whose eyes a reprobate is despised, but who honors those who fear the Lord. He swears to his own hurt and does not change. He does not put out his money at interest, nor does he take a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things will never be shaken. Awesome. Chills. What's your favorite part? My favorite part is and speaks truth in his heart. That is awesome and solid, and speaks to a kind of honesty that is like deep down. There are times you can lie to people by telling them the truth, or telling them part of the truth, or telling them enough, and then they jump to a conclusion, and then you just quietly don't correct them. This is talking about speaks truth in his heart, down to your intentions and your inner being. What did you intend to do? Awesome. Another cool part, swears to his own hurt and does not change. Not that you should make promises that injure you and are bad for you, but that in the times that you do, when you swear and then you realize, oh, I'm going to lose money on that, or oh, that's Saturday where I have a thing I wanted to do, and instead you do not change. You keep your word, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it's unpleasant, even though it's not what you wanted to do, even though it's expensive or inconvenient or uncomfortable. You do it anyway because you gave your word. It's awesome. What is the hardest part of this? I think of this list, all of it. Like being, because you've got good days and you got bad days, and this is why we need Jesus, obviously, is because this is an awesome list, but you're not going to be 100% on all of these on every day. That's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. And so that's where Christ's sacrifice comes in and makes up our difference. Not that we shouldn't strive to be this, not that this isn't an ideal that we should hold up and go, yeah, I want to speak truth in my heart and walk with integrity and work righteousness. Does not slander with my, not slander, don't be evil. Honor those who fear the Lord. Keep my word. Awesome stuff. So one thing I do want to note, does not put out his money at interest. So you don't loan money for interest. This is more on the line, along the lines of charity. This isn't talking about banking and business practices, but rather on a personal level. Like there weren't. Oh, I hate these places. There weren't payday loans or the cash advance places all over the freaking place in ancient Israel. They didn't have that. So if somebody had to make rent and they didn't have rent, or they needed to buy food and they didn't have money to buy food yet, but they were going to work the next couple days or whatever, what would they do? They just starve? Well, they could go to the friends, they could go to family, neighbors, and say, hey, I need, X amount of money. And there was a social safety net. There wasn't, institutions that gave out food stamps, or businesses that kind of took advantage of those people the way the payday loan places do. They're a ripoff. Never go to them. So you weren't supposed to, for people who were in need, people who were in pain and just like needed a little bit of help, who wanted to then pay you back for it, you weren't going to charge them interest and make a bunch of profit off of them. Instead, just give them the money they need and let them pay you back the money that you gave them. This is not kind of a business context for that. So I did want to mention that one. It's in a context of charity and giving. So, this is awesome. All right. How does this convict you? Is there anything on the list that you heard it and went, oh, man. Side note before I lose the thought about the money in the New Testament and in a modern context. I don't lend money to family or friends. I give it to them. If they want to pay it back, I try and tell them no. But if they're like, oh no, I'm going to pay you back, okay, and I let them like match it. But if the answer is always no, unless I can afford to just give them the money they need and never see it again. Because it just makes for better relationships and for a more giving heart. And that way you're not damaging the relationship with money that, oh, they owe you money and they're not paying you back. And it's just unnecessary stress. Life is stressful enough. So I would strongly recommend, if you have family or friend or somebody needs to borrow money from you, give them the money. If you can't afford to give them the money, say no. And just let them know, like, I don't have it, I'm sorry. Because it's going to be better in the long run for that relationship. So, what part of this would I have the hardest with? It's all pretty good. Does not slander with his tongue. And I can get upset, especially when I'm driving. And I can say some things that I probably shouldn't say about the other drivers. And that counts, and that's not the best way to handle things. And I don't know, you work on it. You try and make progress. Slow, agonizing progress, but progress nonetheless, right? The goal is to get 1% better every day. And after 2 days, you'll be 2% better. 3 days, 3% better. And it's going to add up, but 1% better every day, even if it's a little thing. So, need to work on that. How does this encourage you? As far as the one part of this that I do kind of feel I'm knocking out of the park is I do my very best to keep my word. Or if it's something that I don't think I can make, I just won't give my word that I'll do it, and I'll keep it up in the air and go, well, maybe, or I'll try, or I'll do my best, but we'll see. Because then when I say that I am going to do this, it kills me when I can't follow through on it. Every time I make a mental note of, all right, this has to happen. I gave my word. I was going to be there. I was going to do X, Y, Z. I was going to whatnot. And that's pretty encouraging to see, like, yeah, that's something I'm doing well on. And just know that I've got other places where I got work to do, you know? So how can we use this to live differently right now? Bring all this in a modern context. Speaks truth in his heart. Be honest. Be straight up. When somebody asks, where are you? Don't tell them, oh, I'm in traffic, when you're getting out of bed, putting your underwear on. You're not in traffic. Or you're late and like, oh, traffic. No, you weren't. No, you're not. That's not true. In your heart, you know it's not true. Yes, the traffic is always bad. No, that's not why you're late. Don't slander with your tongue. Don't gossip around the work site. Nor does evil to his neighbor, nor takes up a reproach against his friend. Don't gossip. Don't talk bad about people. Don't get offended over nonsense. Whose eyes a reprobate is despised. Doesn't mean you could be mean to homeless people, but just acknowledging that people who aren't contributing to society aren't contributing to society. Not that you extend mercy, kindness, and grace, but you still acknowledge that it's even in the New Testament. You don't work, you don't eat. It's in Thessalonians. Look it up. God still built a world where men and women were put on this earth to work and to go do things. And if you're not doing that, you're not fulfilling the reason you were put on this earth. And you're just kind of wasting your time, and you're wasting God's time. Because he's the one who put you here, so it's his time that you're wasting. It's not really yours. And just being aware of that and acknowledging that. In whose eyes a reprobate is despised. Those are kind of highfalutin college words. But who honors those who fear the Lord, and just, give preference and to people who are godly people, not necessarily Christians. There are a lot of people who aren't Christians, who are honorable men of their word, solid people that are honest and fair in their dealings, and those are the kind of people that, aren't bad doing business with. Nor does he put out his money at interest. Like I was saying, just give money to people who want to borrow it. Don't sit there and play the debting game and mess with that. It's just going to hurt you. Just, if you can't afford to just give it to them, tell them no. And just say, I'm sorry, no. Because it's only going to hurt the relationship. Nor does he take a bribe against the innocent. Don't be dishonest to get your pocket lined. Don't lie about things or stretch the truth to get money. He who does these things will never be shaken. So obviously, life's a roller coaster. You've got your ups and your downs, but in the long run, the big picture, and the full story arc of your life, God's got your back. You do your best, and it'll all come out in the wash. So, I got the scripture and the questions down in the description. Show me your answers. Tell me what you think. And shoot me some of your questions. Come on over and visit at Facebook. Facebook.com/follow2lead. Follow the number 2 lead. That's all I got. I will see you next time. Godspeed.